had heard about this idea and investigated these kinds of flea market concepts in Finland. Me and my husband were visiting our neighbors and had a couple of glasses of red wine. And I told about this idea and they immediately got excited.
You've tried going to radio before? How was that experience?
It was okay. It was this P1. There was a program about entrepreneurs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was one of the guests. There were many guests. There was also a minister, a politician, and yeah.
Okay.
I just told my story.
That's a funny mix. Why was it like minister and then an entrepreneur?
It was about entrepreneurship and female entrepreneurs. And
okay.
Yeah.
And when was that?
I think it was like 4 years ago. We had just been on the program. What do you call it in English? Is a Løvens Hule, the cage of the lion.
Yeah.
It's a program where you can go and present your business. We had just been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did it go? Did they didn't believe in it?
Yeah. They thought it was a good idea, but we were our price was too high.
Okay.
But it was we got a lot of publicity and get a lot of contacts afterwards, and so all in all,
yeah, it's good.
Good for the business. Yeah.
Are we rolling?
You can start.
Yeah.
Okay, Johanna, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Johanna Kiel Nielsen. I'm originally from Finland, but I've been living in Denmark for 20 years, and I'm one of the founders of Børneloppen.
Okay, cool. And what is Børneloppen?
Børneloppen is a secondhand children's concept where families, they can buy and sell secondhand children's stuff, like toys and children's clothes and stuff.
Cool. And how did it start? Like, when did you change from what you're doing before, and how did you start this?
Yeah. Before becoming self-employed, I was working in the biggest insurance company in Denmark and working as a sales manager. And I had been always jealous of people who were kind of making difference in this world, like police officers or nurses or school teachers.
Yeah.
And if I was really good at my job, the shareholders were getting richer.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wanted to do a difference in this world, and I had heard about this idea in Finland, where the idea of this kind of circular concept comes from.
Okay.
And investigated these kinds of flea market concepts in Finland, and but I didn't dare to do it by myself. So one evening, me and my husband were visiting our neighbors and had a couple of glasses of red wine. And I told about this idea, and they immediately got excited.
Really?
So we decided to do it together, and then we did it.
Okay. And how was it like to start something together with your neighbors? Like that sounds like crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I quit my job at the insurance company, and my neighbor, Sophie, the lady of the family, she quit her job as a kindergarten teacher.
Okay.
So we quit our jobs and opened our first store in Copenhagen, in Valby.
Okay. And have you ever ran a store before?
No.
Okay.
No. None of us had. We didn't have any retail experience.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no, nothing. But Sophie's husband, so the other couple, he had been running his own construction business for like 10 years. So they knew about life as a self-employment, the uncertainty that you're always working, and all the administrative tasks like like a constructor. So he helped with the physical stuff, building the store, making it look nice, and negotiating with the landlords and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And did you guys have like clients right away? Like how was it? Because it's at that time it was a new concept. Now you guys are more established, but like how do you sell that idea of like, hey, we have like used stuff for kids?
Yeah. Well, at that time, you could buy a lot of secondhand stuff for kids already in Denmark. For instance, on Facebook Marketplace, or it wasn't Facebook, but on Facebook groups at least, and Blåavis, like online sales. So we first like made a good plan a good marketing plan. I have a marketing background. So I thought like things like Facebook and Instagram and algorithms were very exciting.
Yeah.
So every time I was walking with my little daughter at that time with the pram when she was supposed to sleep, I had like a podcast or YouTube video about Facebook marketing in my ears.
Okay.
So we started it on social media. Started with a Facebook account and an Instagram account. And of course, we activated our own network.
Okay.
That helped a lot in the beginning.
Right. Okay.
So we kind of talked everyone we knew about it. Already, like before we launched it, we were like, oh, we are thinking about this. What do you think? What could go wrong? Okay. So we got the input and our family and our friends and our network was very good at helping. So they booked like a stand or a spot to sell, many of them. And many we gave also for free just to get some stuff inside. Right. But because we had been so noisy on Facebook, we had done so much post and live streaming already, like when we were building the store. So there was quite a lot of interest already during the opening day.
That's so interesting, because that sometimes it's the opposite of like a startup approach. There's like, let's be as secretive and quiet as possible, and then on the launch day we make big noise. Yeah. But you guys were already like making big noise beforehand.
Yeah, we had to make big noise because we wanted to like have a lot of customers already on the opening day. We are a volume business. It's our store in Valby is almost 600 square meters with a lot of stuff. So we know that if we would need a good start, and that's what you want, we need a lot of attention already days and weeks before. Already, of course, working with marketing, I know the customer journey is long. You have to have a lot of contact points with the customers before they actually, drive to the store and visit them. So that's why we were kind of aggressive from the beginning.
Okay. And did the idea come from, the fact that you guys were moms already and went through the experience of having to change the kids' clothes every 2 months, or maybe even more than that in the beginning?
Exactly. So when we opened, we were totally in the target group ourselves. So we understood the customers because we were the customers. Right. And I think both me and Sophie, we experienced that we wanted to like buy secondhand. It's good for the environment. It's cheaper. And I had experienced something similar in Finland, but we really needed that in Denmark. And when I told about it and showed some pictures from Finland, it wasn't quite the same, but something similar. She was like, oh, that's nice. We need this.
Yeah. And how was it to start a business with someone else?
It was good. Of course, you have to really consider many things before you do it, because it's kind of like a marriage. Right. Because you're together all the time, both in good times and also bad times. I think it depends on what kind of a person you are. I think if you're a very a stubborn person that wants to like be the boss and make the decision, right. And especially because it's a stressful situation. When you start a new company, you work a lot, there's uncertainty. We also had small kids, and our family's economical situation was uncertain.
Okay,
So of course that's a stressful situation, and especially within a store that's open every day. And if something goes wrong, then you just you're not the best version of yourself. So that's why it's important to be understanding and helping and not too stubborn.
I cannot even imagine to be in a situation like this, where it's like there economical uncertainty, there are the kids to take care of, and then you open the door and you see your neighbor, and they're going through the same things, you know. And maybe it's actually something that strengthen you guys' relationship.
Absolutely, because we had this same situation in our life, so we could understand each other. For instance, like something just, you know, someone just had to stay in the store. Maybe there were so many customers, or a problem. Well, one of us had to fix the problem. Well, it might end that the other one just drove and picked all the kids from the kindergarten and made a spaghetti bolognese to all the kids. So we were doing what it takes. So our kids kind of became like almost like siblings, because they were together all the time. You take the kids, I take the store. I'll find some food. You have pasta, I have bolognese. I go to your fridge. We'll figure it out.
That's so beautiful. And how are things going now? Like, because that was when you started. That was 7 years ago, right?
Yeah, that was 7 years ago. We are not neighbors anymore. They moved away to another city, not far away from here.
Oh no!
Oh no! Yeah, they fell in love with the house and left us. No, but our relationship is more professional now, because in the beginning we were together all the time. We were together at work. We were together when we were off. We were making decisions while kids were playing outside, and we were working all the time. So now our relationship we're still good friends, but it's more professional, where we have more like defined roles, like who does what. Also, Sophie's husband, Morten, is a big part of it now. After we had been having the stores for 3 years, then he joined the company. He sold his construction company and became a part of it, like full time as well. So actually today I'm mostly working with Morten, Sophie's husband, and Sophie is working in one of the stores.
Okay.
So yeah.
And how was that transition from being almost 24/7 together to slowly establish professional roles in the company?
It has happened kind of by itself during the time. So when we grow, at some point we didn't have to work all the time anymore. Like the first 2-3 years, we didn't do anything else that work. We felt we kind of had to do it. And with the family situation, Morten and Sophie, they had their Morten's mother was helping them a lot with the kids and the practical stuff, because they were working all the time. Well, we didn't have any help. My husband's from Jutland and I'm from Finland, so we get an au pair from Finland to help with the kids and pick them up. And I think we had been having the business for 3 years. Once when I get my kid from the school, from this afternoon club, and one of the friends said like, "Ida, is that your real mom?" Really? And I was like, shit, I've been working too much. So that's kind of, for me, it was a big turning point. I have to work less. We have to get some people. We have to believe in the concept enough to know that it's going to be okay.
Exactly. It's going to work even if I'm not there.
Yeah.
Is that hard? When you saw your little baby growing like that, and then to have to let go in order to preserve things are actually also important for you, like for example your family and your free time also. You know, how much of that felt like a sacrifice?
I felt, for me it wasn't such a big sacrifice, because I was living my dream. So when the kids were like very, very small, when they were babies, I was the one taking maternity leave and home with the kids and breastfeeding them and so on. And while my husband was having a career and became a marketing manager and so on. And when we started Barneloppen, we agreed actually at home, okay, now it's my turn for a while. So he will be more in charge of of the kids and the buying groceries and stuff, at least for like a year or two.
Yeah.
It has been a little longer now. But don't tell him. but
I mean, guys, they forget stuff, right? So,
yeah. But there was a lot of,
as long as you don't remind him of the agreement, he just
no. He doesn't have to know that 7 years I'm still living my dream. No, but I was living my dream. But the sacrifice, it was. I think the family made the sacrifice actually, because my husband made a decision. He made a decision that, okay, I want to support my wife. I will take the kids when they're sick and the kindergarten calls. You have to pick her up. She has fever or something. It was a like active, conscious decision from him, but the kids couldn't choose. So they saw me less. But having said that, it was a couple of years. I think it's not like they didn't see me at all, but of course my head was somewhere else and I was more stressed and came often late at home. But I also think that I'm also a role model for them. I want to show them that you can do whatever you want. Like even though I was schooled for something else and studied something totally else and was an insurance lady with a good job and a good, everything was good. But I didn't want that. I want something else. And in a way, I want to show to my kids and be a role model that you can do whatever you want to do. No matter if it's a dancer or a teacher or start your company or I will support them. So I think that's a good thing. And also now when we are more established, I have a lot of freedom as well. So now I can be a lot more with them. So now they're like almost teenagers and they dance a lot. They're hip hop dancers. Yeah. They dance like 10 times a week, all the time with competitions. Really? Yeah, we're a dancing family. So I'm the dance mom. So
that's cool.
I have the flexibility now, finally. So I can leave earlier from the job, take them to dance and be there, talk to them while I'm driving them, be close to them. And I also have the freedom to open my computer in the evening if I want to do.
Do you think you would have this freedom if you hadn't invested those years into building something long lasting?
A good question, because I don't know if always it's probably not as always that the more you work, the better it gets. Because, but I think at least you have to work hard. Maybe we worked too hard in the beginning, like too many hours, and we were like too tired. Probably if we could have hired someone like a little bit earlier to help us, it would have been just as well good or even better. But I think at least working like quite hard, it has been a good investment because especially when you have a new company, you create your reputation in the beginning. So the first months and the first years, that's where you create your reputation. And we wanted to be there by ourselves. We wanted to give the reputation that this is where you get the good customer experience, and this is where the owners are very down to earth and funny and talking to the customers. So we needed to be there.
And you probably wouldn't have the freedom you have right now if you were just focusing on making your stockholders rich like in the previous job, right?
Probably not. I don't know. I think there's many workplaces where after doing COVID and stuff, people are working remote, but not the same freedom, because now I can design my time as I will without asking a boss.
And having that experience of working for someone else, is it something that you are mindful in the way you treat your workers, your staff, and things like that?
I try. I have had many good bosses within the insurance industry. It's a professional industry, and I have mostly good bosses. So I try, even though I don't have like a mentor or a boss now, I could ask. That was a good thing about being employed somewhere. There's always a boss you can ask if you're in doubt. Like, I don't have a wise boss now. I'm the boss. And we don't have like an HR department to ask. But I try to, I've kept contact with some of my bosses and try to like do the things that worked for me that time. So the things that I felt like my best bosses were doing well, I try to do the same.
What are some of the other things that you are excited for in this season in your life right now?
So, sorry?
What are some of the things that you're excited for in this season in your life right now?
What areas of life I'm excited about? Good question. The first years, it was a lot about the growth in the company. Like, that was the huge driver. We have to grow and get bigger and get more stores. I still want that, but now now that the company has grown, there's two things that are getting more and more important. One is that I want my employees to have success, not just me and not just my store, not just my company. So like earlier, if I could Facebook myself and it get like 300 likes, I was like, woohoo! But now, if I have an employee that does it, I'm happier.
Right. Okay.
So I'm kind of living happiness through others, like with the kids. Yeah. And another thing I'm excited about is that, you know, at this time I try to see myself as more like a whole person. I'm not just entrepreneur or a working person, not just a mom. Now the kids are bigger as well. There's room for doing other stuff like, for instance, I have become a winter swimmer.
Oh, really? Okay. You're one of those now.
I'm one of those, yeah. So to challenge myself on other levels and do other stuff than work as well.
Okay, is it, how do you start as a winter swimmer? You just jump in the water? Like, is there any preparation?
You can do that. I warn you, you get addicted if you try that.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But actually, we have a little swimming pool at our home. So then I just read about all the advantages. So I started doing it, like going just for like first for 1 second and then for 5 seconds, and
Can you call it a bath if it's just 1 second?
Yeah, because it's really it's winter, it's really cold. It's a challenge. It's a mental challenge because it's really cold. You have to force yourself to go there, but there's a lot of things happening in your body. So you actually, all the good hormones, like if you work out and stuff, you know, all they're coming through your brain. So when you get up from the cold water, you're just a happy person.
Okay.
Yeah, you can be stressed and angry and everything, and then when you go to the cold water, and as soon as you come up, you're a good person.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna talk with my roommates. Maybe we can have one over there.
Yeah.
Okay. What is in the future for Bonelab?
We think there's still potential in the Danish markets. We have 12 stores in Denmark. We think there's some big cities still that could have their own Børneloppen. So we think there's at least we could have 20 stores in Denmark.
Okay.
So 8 more. So we are trying to look for some franchisees and of course some of the physical stores. We have to have the match to be able to open. But the big step is more stores abroad. We already have one store in Belgium and one store in Iceland.
Okay.
So we are starting to be international, but we want to expand. There's so many exciting countries Sweden and Germany and Holland, and so kids are growing everywhere, and I think the sustainability trend is coming everywhere.
Right.
So we think there's potential in really many countries.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how do you start an expansion like that? Do you need to know people there? Do you How does it work?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out right now.
Okay.
So far, our franchisees have come to us kind of by coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
So people kind of, they visit our store or know someone who visits our store, and when they come and see it and think, wow, I like this place. We need this in our country or in our city. And then they contact us. We do also some marketing. We have some Facebook ads going towards people that are interested in starting their own company and so on. But we have to figure out how we do it abroad, where we don't have this huge network, and you don't necessarily come from Holland and visit our store. So we have recently gotten 2 professional board members to Børneloppen. So it's not just the 2 families anymore. Yeah. So we have 2 professional, that have international retail experience. So we're hoping that they can help us with that. Okay. It's still very new. We had only 1 meeting so far, but we need some help from some experienced people.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Johanna, do you have any last words for the people watching?
No, I hope you have enjoyed it, whoever's watching or listening.
Is there where can people find you guys?
If you just search Børneloppen either on Google or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, we're all over on social media.
Johanna, thanks for coming.
Thank you.